on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask. Got a super fun episode ahead for you. And I'm telling you, we are sticking around Seymour, Indiana. And of course, we're bringing you all sorts of fun things as we go throughout all of our segments: Hoosier Happenings, Hoosier Hustle, Hoosier Homestead, and Hoosier Heart. And we'll talk about all the good things happening in and around the area. So if you'd like to explore with us, you can stay tuned on this episode. You just might know a friend. Also want to thank Prosser Career and Education Center for making this show possible. You can check Prosser out if you're a student and you're looking to expand in some different areas of hands-on learning, from welding to construction trades to cosmetology to anything skilled labor. You can definitely check out Prosser Career and Education Center. Also, if you're an adult too and want to go back to get some classes and maybe look for a career change, whatever, or enhance or level up where you're currently at, do check out Prosser Career and Education Center. Keep it right here. I'm Kelly Trask. And we're back on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask, and we're visiting with Kevin Udy with Beatty Insurance. They're actually located in Jackson County. Super excited to have them with us today as part of our Hoosier Homestead series. So if you're thinking about moving to Indiana, maybe Southern Indiana, maybe even right around the area of Jackson or surrounding counties, you want to make sure that you know what type of insurance that you need to have to be successful. You know, what are some things that you want to make sure that you have covered so your family and everything that you've worked for is protected. And that's why we're talking with Kevin today. So thanks so much for joining us. Yes. And we're going to talk about the exciting topic of insurance. And it can be exciting, right? Yeah. I mean, this is something you do each and every day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're insurance nerds. You know, most people, they can't stand talking about it, or they don't know how to understand it. That's what we're here for, just trying to make sense of it all for people. So.
All right. So let's just dive into the weeds. What are some things, if you're new to insurance or maybe you've had it for 40 years, what should be on the checklist of the types of insurance someone should have?
Yeah, absolutely. So home, auto, renter's insurance if you don't own a home, or, you know, umbrella insurance, life insurance. Mm-hmm. Those are definitely the big major topics and points of view. And there's a lot of different layers that go within that, as well as, you know, you can get down into different coverages and deductibles and how you want your home to be covered, and how much life insurance is enough, those kind of questions.
All those fun things. Yep. So let's kind of dissect homeowners insurance for a second. How often should someone renew that or take a look at their coverages? Is that something you can kind of set and in 5 years check it out? Or what should people be doing as homeowners?
So as far as we go, we're an independent agent. So we do an annual review of every policy renewal. So whenever you buy a new home is typically when you start a new policy, whatever time of year that is. So, you know, mine renews every October. I know that. So I know September, August timeframe, I'm going to be starting to think about what my homeowner's renewal is going to be. The big things to get in touch with your agent on, if you do want to do a review, they're kind of looking at it behind the scenes typically to see what the industry's doing. But anytime you've made a big renovation or updates to the home, right now a big one is if you've gotten a new roof, or if you've done anything to the roof of the house, or change the exterior of the home, like going from a vinyl siding to the party board concrete siding. Those are big items that you want to at least let your agent know about, because the coverages can change or update as things age. So,
that's a good point. Yeah. And plus, I guess replacement coverage is real important. A lot of people, is there two different types on insurance?
Yes. So there's a few different layers, but the most common that you're going to see are full replacement cost and actual cash value, or what you'll see on a declaration page, it will say ACV, or actual cash value. So replacement, that can get really confusing, but replacement cost is kind of what it sounds. If you have a claim, whether it be a total loss, house to the ground, or a small kitchen fire that is a $10,000, $15,000 claim, whatever it costs is what you will get paid to repair it with brand new materials, whatever you need to do to make it look like it was before. You'll get that everything but your deductible back.
Okay. So I know on the homeowner side, what are some things that people can do that they may not have realized actually could save them money if their agent knew about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you've got a kind of an alarm system, or, you know, we call it central station fire or burglar alarm, is what you would want to let your agent know that you've got that. If you have automatic water shutoff valve system, or battery backups, if you have a basement for the sump pump or a second sump pump, all those are eligible for discounts.
Wow.
Also, if you add an umbrella policy to your home and auto, you will get an additional discount on the homeowner's insurance for having an umbrella policy as well. Same thing, just going along with that, bundling home, auto, and umbrella gives you a discount.
So to clarify, I always thought the umbrella policy was just for the home. Is it for your auto too?
An umbrella,
is that a separate policy, or is that everything?
So you have a home policy, you have an auto policy, and then there's an umbrella policy. And the best way to explain what an umbrella policy is it is $1 million or however much you feel like is necessary for your family. And it sits over the top of both the home and the auto liability coverages. So it's additional liability.
Makes sense.
For everything that you would have personally.
So you mentioned $1 million. It seems like a lot. How much do people need for umbrella policies, and what age do you get one? Or how do you know, well, it's time, I'm old enough for an umbrella policy?
Yeah, right.
Like, is it like you turn 50 and here it comes?
Sure.
Or, yeah.
That's a great question, and there's really no good answer to that.
Okay.
So it's all based on personal preferences or needs or how you feel like you want to take care of yourself from an insurance standpoint. So we always talk about needs and wants in insurance. So, do you want to have protection from a policy that you pay for, or do you feel like you have enough in your back pocket that could cover anything that goes over your traditional liability coverage on your home or auto insurance? So there's no good answer of how much is enough or how much is too much. It's all based on personal needs and preferences, but typically you start thinking about an umbrella when you get, if you're commuting for long periods of time, you're at a higher risk of getting in a major auto accident, or if you've got a larger home, or if you have quite a few personal financial assets, or if you own a business or self-employed, anything like that could put your personal assets at risk. That's a good time to consider adding an umbrella.
Interesting. Okay. So we've talked about umbrella policies. We've talked about homeowners, auto insurance. I mean, that's something else that people have to have. How do you know what type to buy?
Well, that's a good question, and a lot of that goes into if you've got a loan on a vehicle. Obviously, the banks are going to want to require that you have full coverage, which means you have liability insurance, which is a state requirement, and then also that you have comprehensive and collision coverage on the policy to cover your particular vehicle. As those vehicles age, they aren't worth quite as much as you put more miles on them. They all are a depreciating asset, obviously, right?
So if you're going to keep your car 10 or 15 years, you may actually save, because you might be able to kind of reduce the amount of coverages that you have for your vehicle.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I didn't think about that.
Obviously you have to have auto liability insurance by Indiana state law. But Indiana is a no fault, or is an at fault state. I'm sorry. So if you are in an accident and it is your fault, your policy would pay for the other person's damage.
Right.
And if you only have liability coverage, you don't have coverage on your personal vehicle that was damaged. So that's where that comprehensive and collision coverage comes into play.
I gotcha.
So as vehicles get older, it is a conversation that we do bring up, that if you wanted to save a little bit of money, your car is a little older, we might be able to drop off that comprehensive and collision, and you can save some money, but you don't get anything in return if you have an accident and it's your fault.
I see. So the one of the other big types of insurance that we want to make sure we talked about today is life insurance. Yeah. So I know there's some different types available. People, what age do they start needing to have it?
Honestly, the best thing to do is buy life insurance as soon as you possibly think about it, or even before you start to think about it. So the younger you are, the cheaper that life insurance is going to be. And you can get a lot of different policies that will go, some can go until you turn 99 years old or so that would be considered a whole life policy.
Okay.
But the sooner the better you start thinking about life insurance, the more financially beneficial it will be for you and your family moving forward.
Okay. Well, if someone's listening or they're thinking, I really need to evaluate this, I've been doing this wrong, or totally did not even think about umbrella, whatever that person's thinking about, what's the best way they can reach you at your office, Kevin?
Yeah. Obviously we're in the modern era, so the good old telephone's good.
I thought you were going to say the computer. And you went, we're in the modern era.
Well,
pick up the phone.
We're in the modern era. The telephone still works, though.
Telephone still works.
But we also BeattyInsurance.com. Yep. There's a good landing page that you can kind of click around and feel out what you're looking for, and then you can
write anybody in Indiana, right?
Yes, we can write anybody in Indiana, and then we're also licensed in some other states as well. Okay. We're not in all states, but if you do have somebody that's a family member that's out of town or
Yes.
doesn't live lives in another state, we
You
could
can still
help them out.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Anything else you want to make sure people know about insurance or new things coming down the pike?
Well, there's so much changing in the world, obviously,
Yeah.
with cost of repairs, and that's all along the line. So we are seeing there's been a trend in the insurance industry of rising costs, and that's not a rumor. That is true. The cost of insurance is going up, but we are starting to see some positive signs that things might be leveling off a little bit, and it won't be quite as severe as what.
Does that mean our rates are going down?
I wouldn't say they're going to ever go down, but that's our hope.
Yeah.
As an independent agent, we work for our clients, and we don't necessarily work for one particular company. So we shop the insurance around for our clients,
and that keeps it competitive.
Yes, it keeps our carriers honest.
Yes,
and then we can
choice
compare.
is good in that realm.
Yes,
so
exactly.
I love it.
We have choice, and we have the ability to. Rather than having to call 5 different agents to get a quote, you can call us and we can shop it to 5 different companies without having to go through the whole information gathering.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
All right. Well, definitely check out Beatty Insurance. You can work with Kevin or any of the great staff there. They'll get you connected with what you might need. Maybe it's farm insurance. Maybe you got a new toy. Maybe you're buying a boat, RV. Those things are important too. You got to make sure everything's covered, and you can do it with care from Beatty Insurance. We'll be back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.
Hi, I'm Emery Jones, Career Education Coordinator at Prosser Career Education Center in New Albany. Are you ready to build your future? At Prosser, you'll explore 29 hands-on, high-wage programs, from aviation to culinary, welding to cybersecurity, all designed to launch real careers or college success. Prosser is located at 4202 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana. Need help? Call our main office at 812-542-8508 or visit your school counselor today to learn more. Prosser, where your future begins.
And we're back on Southern Indiana Now, and we're joined today with Dr. Andy Dick with Schneck Medical Center. He's an anesthesiologist, so that's hard to spell, but it's we're definitely going to dive into all the different things about anesthesiology and what it actually entails, some common myths, and how you can be safe when you're preparing for a surgery. So, Dr. Dick, let's talk about all the different. What does anesthesiology cover? A lot of people understand you put people out before they have surgery, but I'm sure it's more than that.
My parents had a little piece of a Post-it note that spelled out anesthesiologist by their phone for years so they could remember how to spell anesthesiologist.
I love it.
Anyway, anesthesiology is the practice of medicine that entails putting patients to sleep for surgery or a MRI or any type of procedure, potentially painful procedure, as well as relieving pain before surgery, during surgery, and after surgery, and then also relieving pain during labor.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what are some common myths they always say you shouldn't eat before surgery. You kind of mean that, right? Like a cracker's not even a good thing.
Yeah. Or even like a mint.
Yeah.
Yeah. We run into that all the time. So the concern is after we give medicine to get you to sleep, but before we have a breathing tube in or some type of breathing device to protect your airway, that whatever food is in your stomach will get regurgitated and get into your lungs, and that can cause a really bad pneumonia and potentially life-threatening pneumonia.
Okay.
And so in order to prevent that, we ask people not to eat for at least 6, if not 8 hours before surgery.
All right. So what are some other common myths that people have or some concerns centered around anesthesiologists that you can help with?
People are often very concerned about dying during anesthesia or during surgery or remembering things while they're having surgery, while they're under anesthesia. Both of those things are exceedingly rare, especially in a healthy population. Mm-hmm. We just don't see really either one of those, to be quite honest. When people remember things is when they're in a car wreck and then they have to have emergency surgery, or during maybe open heart surgery or something like this. But just as a routine we very rarely see either intraoperative awareness, which is remembering stuff during surgery, or healthy people dying under anesthesia. Those are the stories that make headlines, but the millions and millions of people that undergo it safely do not make headlines.
Absolutely. So what are some healthy habits or things that people can do kind of leading up to days before surgery? A lot of those surgeries are planned, a lot of procedures that need anesthesiology. What are some things that people can do to kind of make their experience go the best as possible?
Well, we kind of already touched on it, but not eating the night before and following all the instructions you possibly can from the surgeon or from the anesthesiologist. If you're having a major surgery, one of the things that we've found recently is there's a kind of a burgeoning field called prehabilitation, whereas before you'd have surgery and then go to rehab or rehabilitation for your total knee or total hip, and they would get you up and walk around. Whereas prehabilitation is this idea that you need to work out before surgery or have some type of exercise before surgery. And so if you're endeavoring on a major surgery, it may be reasonable to ask your surgeon about prehabilitation as well.
Okay, I love that. Well, we do want to make sure that if you are considering surgery or need any kind of surgical procedures coming up, that you do pay attention to those instructions. But of course, if you need more information, you can get in touch with your physician or primary care provider at Schnuck or any other major medical facility in Southern Indiana, and they can connect you to making sure you're staying healthy and everything goes smooth. We'll be back here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.
Wherever you go, our stations have your music, local news, local sports, and local weather covered. 95.3 WUME brings you today's best hits, along with Paoli Sports, local news, and weather. 98.7 WSCZ plays the timeless favorites from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, as well as local weather and Orleans high school sports. And 96.9 WKLO keeps it country with all your favorite classic country hits, plus Corridon and North Harrison high school sports, as well as local news and weather. Your soundtrack for Southern Indiana is found on 95.3 WUME, 98.7 WSEZ, and 96.9 WKLO.
And we're back on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask, hanging out with the infamous James Harris. We're talking about one of the best artists here in Southern Indiana. And James, thank you so much for joining us today. And we've got a lot of things to talk about. I have a lot of questions, but I know a lot of people want to talk about the mural. So let's talk about that first, and then we'll talk about how artistry has shaped your life and all the things.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So the mural is just I was actually approached by the city, I think in November or December last year, and they were already discussing what they were going to do this year. So we've been kind of working on it ever since, and we're finally in the last couple of weeks, we're actually doing it.
That's super exciting. So the mural, let's tell everybody where we are. So the mural is actually located in Seymour.
Correct.
And where can they find the mural? I know this is a project that the city tries to do at least once a year, like you said. Where's this one going to be?
It's on Indianapolis Avenue. It's facing the railroad tracks. Kind of the best way to find it would probably be second in Indianapolis. Once you're there, you found it.
Yeah. So tell me what it's about, and how did the decision come about on what it got to be about?
Well, the murals project's been going on for a few years now, and when they asked me, like, do you know of anyone who'd be interested, which, I'm a local tattooer, so I'm sure they're just looking for artists. So they come to me, and I'm like, well, I would love to be involved, and they said, well, get a design together and show us what you're thinking. And of course, I'm big into history. I wouldn't call myself a history buff, but I love history and the history of Seymour. Obviously, there's a lot, really. A lot that probably people don't even know.
Yeah.
And the obvious go-to, I wanted to do something to do with the Reno Brothers. Not glorifying, obviously, but remembering.
Acknowledging.
Remembering.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of people coming by and a lot of excitement. I think most people are really enjoying what's happening.
I love that. So when's the projected completion date?
Well, hopefully today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
today.
we're literally on the last day.
All right.
I'm doing touch-up work and adding little details. was supposed to seal it today, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But it will be. So I think the art itself will be finished today.
Yeah, I love that. So was it hard to come up with the design? I know we've got your inspiration, but what about the actuality of it?
Not really. I've really loved cowboy stuff. That's probably not a real obvious thing, but so coming up with an idea.
Only because you're not wearing your hat.
Exactly.
And your boots. That's the only thing.
But I already had a pretty big interest in the type of thing, and then knowing the history of it, it wasn't hard to come up with an idea.
Yeah. All right. So that's super cool. So this is your first mural project?
It actually is.
Okay.
I've done a lot of art things for people, but this is the first time I've done a really large scale painting.
Okay. All right. I can't wait for it to see how it turns out. If people want to check that out, they can drive through that area. And then do you think that something else that you'll entertain, maybe do again in the future?
I actually hope so. And maybe this will show people, hey, there's different people around who do different things and opportunities,
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Well, there's a lot of people with a lot of buildings, and just knowing, the murals are hot to put on the buildings. So it'd be super fun to see more of that happening in and around all of our downtowns in Southern Indiana. I'm assuming you'll travel. So.
Oh yeah. I'm a traveler anyway. So.
Yeah, I know. We're wrapping up the mural project. What's the one thing? Do you have any hidden messages or anything people need to be looking for in there?
I don't really think so. This subject matter was pretty clear cut, and I will say it's been interesting. The folks that have stopped by and watched, and some people who have not had a clue what's going on, and I'm like, I think this pretty much tells the story itself.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't say
what is happening on this mural.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's anything hiding in there.
Yeah.
Believe me, though, there were thoughts of hiding something in it, but I thought, I wouldn't know what I.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what I didn't want to do, and it's more thought than I wanted to put into it.
I gotcha. Well, at the end of the day, the real treasure is the artist behind it. So we have had a great time talking with you, James. And of course, if you would like to reach out to James and have him, maybe you're interested in a mural for your building or your town or whatever. James, what's the best number they can reach you?
My number directly is 812-528-9938. And you can also check us out on all social medias at either Dead Crow Collective or J. Harris Tattoos.
All right. Fantastic. We'll be back here on Southern Indiana Now when we return. I'm Kelly Trask.
Hi, I'm Emery Jones, Career Education Coordinator at Prosser Career Education Center in New Albany. Are you ready to build your future? At Prosser, you'll explore 29 hands-on, high-wage programs, from aviation to culinary, welding to cybersecurity, all designed to launch real careers or college success. Prosser is located at 4202 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana. Need help? Call our main office at 812-542-8508 or visit your school counselor today to learn more. Prosser, where your future begins.
And we're back on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask, and we're hanging out with Jerrell Hubbard today at the Seymour High School, and he is the construction trades teacher, but it goes way beyond that. That really just doesn't seem like the title encompasses everything that you do.
I would agree with that.
Okay, we need more words in this title. I don't know.
This construction trades at the high school it's a 3-year program. Introductory to construction it's called Principles Construction. Kids who have never did anything before, they're seeing what a hammer is, seeing what a saw is, do that. First year is your basics. Second year is what we're doing out here in the shop, what you're seeing pictures of. We do a little more hands-on. They get to create projects. I do bird houses, tree houses, which are on that table there. We'll go out and lay concrete block. Next semester, we build a 16 by 16 room. They learn how to drywall, wire, plumb. And then if you decide to stay in my 3rd year program, we leave here at 11:30 and we go somewhere and build. We did everything from sheds to we framed a house last year. We built the Seymour High School soccer facility 2 years ago. We built it from start to finish. So we pour concrete about anything, so these kids get a taste of a lot of different aspects of things.
I love that. Tell me some of the success stories. This seems like an amazing path for kids to get hands-on, real world experience into doing things, building things. Where do you see a lot of these students going after graduation?
Well, that was a big thing. Last year, I actually had 5 students of mine graduate from high school here, and they've got jobs. I won't mention the company name, but one of the companies has hired 3 of them. Mm-hmm. These kids are making somewhere $30+ an hour, which
Okay.
is just, I mean, I try to tell these kids, you know, no college education, they can get out there and make very good money and real life experience. So I teach this thing as I was not in the education field. I've been 35 years in the construction field, so I mean, I just teach them about construction. So yeah, the kids with me being in the construction field for that many years, I knew a lot of people in Seymour that were builders, plumbers, electricians. So the contacts that I've made over all those years has come in really handy for me.
Yeah.
And I can call them and say, hey, you know, you need somebody. I've got somebody for you that I think would work out for you.
Yeah, it's amazing to me that you've built a house, you've laid concrete sidewalks. There really isn't anything that this class can't do, and there are other ones.
Correct. We're limited. We can't do we're not big excavators. We can't do foundation work. Like at our soccer field, we didn't do the excavation work. Other than that, we did everything from start to finish.
Okay.
So we're limited on that. We just don't
Right.
have those skills, but
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's the 4th level class.
Yeah, that'd be a 4th level. Uh-huh.
Okay, I love that. Where do you see this program? If you had a magic wand, where would you see this program like to go? And then, you know, working with like different schools like Prosser and some different ones, how does this all work together to get a really stable workforce?
Well, they've been talking to me about dual credit class. That's still up in the air because, again, some of these kids, you know, college is great, but it's not necessary for this
Right.
program. Some people, you know, right out of high school, you can go start working. So
Right.
possibly dual credit is something we're working on. The Department of Education is starting to make us do a few different things. So we might be offering like an OSHA 10 class. It's called a flaggers class for the flagmen you see on the highways. We're starting to work with O'Mara out of North Vernon about different programs for that. So kids, you know, they can do that. So I'm working with electricians. It's like, you know, I tell the kids, it's not all about hammers and nails. You know, this construction field is,
Yeah,
you know,
wide open.
I show them here, there's like 40 different job opportunities, everything from HVAC, and you can just keep going on and on. So there's a lot of opportunities, not just necessarily hammer and nails that they can get into.
Fantastic. Well, if someone would like some more information, maybe about getting connected with you on projects, how does that work?
If they would want for us to look at something for them, best thing would probably I would say go through the school, ask them for my email, and then they can email me, or if you know me, a lot of people know me, contact me and I can talk to you. Like I said, we're limited on some of the things we can do, but if you're interested in knowing more about my program, or even if people are an employer and they're, you know, and you're in the construction field, let me know. I mean, I got, you know, again, I think I can send you kids that I think would be a possible good fit for you. You know, not everybody's going to be a contractor. I get that. So, but I just tell these kids, I said, you know, if you talk to all the contractors around town, it's like, will the kids show up? Will we be on time? Okay, we got step 1 out of the way. Yeah. You know, so that's
half the battle.
That's a huge, huge thing nowadays. And that's what I tell these kids. I said, if you show up, I think I can get you a job.
Absolutely. All right, fantastic. We'll be back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask. I want to thank Sean Hildreth, our producer, for making Southern Indiana Now fantastic each and every week. I want to remind you can check out Southern Indiana Now at southernindiananow.com and all the places you can get a podcast, including YouTube. We have a special YouTube channel, as well as Spotify, iHeart, Apple, and more. We've had such a fun visiting all the different places in Seymour. Hope you've had fun learning doing a deep dive on some of the different subjects, the same as we have. And also want to thank Prosser Career and Education Center for making this broadcast possible. Do want to check it out. You can give them a Google at Prosser Career Ed Center, and you can also find out some different opportunities and career paths for you as an adult as well as a student. We'll be back here next week as we release new episode each and every Wednesday on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.